As the Crisis on Infinite Earths is rapidly unfolding, we can't help but wonder just how it will all end. Now that the first 3 episodes have aired, we have to wait until January to get the last 2. In the meantime, here are a few of the fan theories floating around that might just change everything. We can't get into it just quite yet without giving you a warning. There are going to be spoilers ahead for the first 3 episodes of The Crisis on Infinite Earths. If you haven't had the chance to check them out yet, you should. They are totally epic, and you really don't want to have them spoiled for you. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into some of the fan theories out there that might just be true by the time the Crisis on Infinite Earths saga comes to a close.
This is the vanishing point. What does that mean?
Supergirl could fly away.
Cal, Lois, Argo is in danger. You need to get out now.
One giant thing that no one seems to be talking about is how, in the original comics, Supergirl didn't make it out of Crisis alive. That's right, in an effort to save her cousin, Superman, she runs into battle with the Anti-Monitor and was able to hold him off for a while, before ultimately being defeated by him. In the comics, she stayed away for almost 2 decades, before being reimagined years later. Now, we all know the chances are pretty slim that the CW will take out one of their major players, and the title character of one of their most popular shows. But hey, they might do it to Barry. And since there's been pretty much no mention of this storyline in Crisis so far, it would be one heck of a big surprise if they went in that direction at the last minute. It wouldn't be totally out of character for Supergirl to sacrifice herself either. She proved in the Elseworlds crossover that she was willing to do so, when she took that lightning bolt in a helicopter for the Flash. And now that she has lost all of Earth-38, including her mother, she might even be more reckless with her own life. While she is determined to use the Book of Destiny to bring back Earth-38 and all the other destroyed versions of the planet, she has been warned by multiple people that it is a task that could drive a person insane. First, the Monitor told her that it wasn't a good idea, and then Lex Luthor told her the same. Ultimately, she decided that it was too dangerous. But with the recent destruction of Earth-1 as well, they might have little choice but to turn to the book in the end. If the 7 Paragons do decide to use the book to bring everybody back, perhaps it'll be Supergirl who winds up sacrificing herself should the need arise.
Guess Supergirl was able to save you.
Chances are good that we won't see this come to pass during the Crisis, but if it did, it would be a seriously bold, almost HBO-like move for the folks over at the CW. We are still talking about the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones, or when Anya didn't survive the Buffy finale. Tragic endings are exactly that, but they do make for some compelling TV. Come on CW, do it, we dare you. Supergirl could wind up on Earth-1. Another one of the most popular theories also has to do with Supergirl and her fate in the wake of the Crisis. This one, however, is a little more hopeful. Some fans are wondering if Kara and her team will take up residence on Earth-1 after the Crisis ends. If she doesn't succeed in her plan to bring back Earth-38 and all of its inhabitants, then where will she go? The most natural course of events is for her to make Earth-1 her new home, as it's where a big chunk of her friends and co-workers live. Not to mention the fact that 3 billion citizens of Earth-38 have recently landed on the planet as well, who are going to need help adjusting to their new home. It would fit with the original idea for the Crisis on Infinite Earths as well. When they wrote it all the way back in the 80s, the Crisis was meant as a way to clean up the multitude of stories that were getting a little out of control over there at DC. They wanted to do away with the multiverse and keep everyone closer to make things simpler. In truth, the fact that Supergirl is so far away from the rest of the CW crew has gotten in the way a bit over the years. And if she was in town, there could be a lot more potential for other crossovers. While it would be a happier ending for Supergirl to get her universe back in the end, it would be a better answer for fans if she stuck around on Earth-1 for a little while longer. John Diggle could become Green Lantern. One of the theories that has been buzzing around for years has to do with John Diggle, and if we will finally see him become John Stewart, aka the Green Lantern. It has been hinted at in the past, and even the actor himself hasn't totally shut down questions about it. He actually said that the creators have explored the idea, but that he couldn't speak on it any further.
Hello, John. Do I know you? You're not wearing your ring.
If that isn't foreshadowing, we don't know what is. There was also an earlier reference about how John was Green Lantern on Earth-90, so chances are it's gonna come up one way or another. If we don't see this John Diggle become Green Lantern, maybe the one from Earth-90 will be dropping by. Now, we know that John was just vaporized by the Anti-Monitor, along with everyone else left on the Wave Rider, but we're pretty sure that the Paragons are at least going to find a way to bring back those guys. And what with Oliver Queen gone, there is now a big hole in the Arrow family.
Come, Harbinger. There is work to be done.
Once they find a way to separate Lila from the Anti-Monitor, who better than her husband to soup up and step in to help his wife defeat the forces of evil? Now that we know she's a Harbinger, she can't go back to her once normal life. And as a duo, these two could be something to mess with. Maybe they could go on intergalactic adventures together. We just want the best for them. Once again, we just won't know until we get there, which can't be soon enough. Batwoman and Supergirl. One thing that has been developing in a really unexpected way over the course of Crisis is the relationship between Batwoman and Supergirl. In 3 episodes, these two have become really close, helping each other through their respective losses and even standing up to one another when they need some tough love the most.
But I think the multiverse is ending soonish.
Their dynamic is perfect for a pair of superheroes. But could it be more than that? We know from Batwoman that Kate is a lesbian, and while she had romantic entanglements in the past, nothing has really stuck. Kara has only been seen dating men on her show, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she can only date men. Besides, one of the bigger complications for superheroes is hiding their secret identity from the ones they love.
Well, I guess you should all just call me Kate.
If these two super women were to get involved, they would definitely understand each other in a way that few others could. One thing is for sure, however, even if their relationship doesn't turn romantic, it is all set to become a great partnership. The creators of the Arrowverse have even gone so far as to say it could replace the Oliver Queen-Barry Allen dynamic that we will now be missing after the end of Arrow. However it unfolds, we will be right there watching.
What good is being the paragon of hope if I don't have any?
One quick thing before we get to the next theory is, don't forget to subscribe to the Binger while you're here, to help us bypass that super annoying YouTube algorithm. And if you're watching on mobile, make sure to turn on notifications in the settings on your phone. Now, back to our regular scheduled programming. Will the Crisis create Justice League? The Arrowverse has never been afraid to mess with some of its original source material, and so this next theory could very well come true. Some think that, at the very end of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, a brand new Justice League could be formed in the Arrowverse, and that actually makes a ton of sense. Well, we do hope that they find a way to recover all of the universes that have been dissolved by the antimatter ray. We can't get over the whole original purpose of the Crisis that we talked about before. The whole point was to clean up the storylines and bring everyone closer together, not to spread them out all over the place. It would be tragic for them not to be able to return home. But if the heroes only manage to bring back Earth 1, then they'll all have to stay there. In which case, it could lead them to all banding together to form a brand new Justice League. But who would even be included in this new super squad? Well, chances are it would be led by some of the heavy hitters, like Batwoman, Supergirl, and the Flash. But it could very well include Black Lightning, who has just lost his home planet, like, well, everyone else in the multiverse. There are also a ton of side characters who have popped up that have been associated with the Justice League before in the comics. We could see names like Killer Frost, Martian Manhunter, the Atom, or the Elongated Man join the ranks, among others. A new Arrowverse spin-off of Canaries is also in development at the CW, so we could see some of those characters come into play as well, especially Mia, who will be taking on the Arrow mantle in place of her dearly departed father.
Thank you for letting me be a part of your story.
If this does wind up happening, it will mean dramatic changes for the Arrowverse as a whole. It would connect the shows in a way that's never been linked before, aside from these yearly crossover events. We would definitely see more and more character crossovers and exciting cameo appearances, but they would have a reason to feel a lot more natural and for a good reason. It could really help tighten the universe together in one cohesive package. Since the Justice League movies were never done quite as well as the studios intended, maybe this could become the perfect way to keep the League alive. It does raise the question, however, though. With a whole new Arrowverse of more regular crossovers, they wouldn't be able to get as much momentum over their yearly specials, like Elseworlds or this current Crisis. Or would they? Would it be less exciting to see events like this if there was a Justice League, or would it make them even better? There are so many good fan theories out there about what could change the history of the Arrowverse, and we're not able to discount any of them yet. Since the creators are keeping the details of the last 2 episodes on tight lockdown, we really can't say which theories could turn out right. However it shakes down, the Crisis is sure to change everything about the Arrowverse that we know and love. Wait, if Arrow is ending, what are we going to call it from now on? The Flashverse? The Superverse? Hopefully not the Batverse. We love all of these theories, even though we know they can't all come true. What about you? Which theory is your favorite? Do you have a different one that we didn't know about? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out, so you can be the first to know about all of our latest videos.